friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan, and today I'm going to be talking about the interior design and decorating trends for 2026. I've compiled a list that includes colors, decorative pieces, and design elements that experts think will be popular in the coming year, along with space for my own hot takes and some realistic ideas for how you can bring these trends into your home. Decorating lives inside interior design, so some of these trends are more structural or long-term, and some are more about styling and layering. I'm really interested to hear which ones you like, which ones you don't, which ones you're already incorporating into your home, and if you have some hot takes, drop them in the comments below. Let's get into it. Color trends for 2026 continue to move toward natural, grounded tones, especially softer greens, earthy neutrals, and complex off-whites. This has been reported across multiple design publications, including Pure Wow and Domino. Pantone's color of the year for 2026 is Cloud Dancer, a soft, warm white meant to feel calming and adaptable rather than stark and cold. Pantone described it as a color that supports rest and balance rather than visual intensity. Benjamin Moore's 2026 color of the year is Silhouette, a deep brown with charcoal undertones. It's being positioned as a grounded neutral that works across walls, cabinetry, and millwork. Domino has also pointed to brown-leaning purples and purple browns as part of a broader color conversation. From a design perspective, this tells us that high-contrast white interiors are continuing to soften and spaces are moving toward depth and warmth rather than brightness and the cool gray tones seen previously. At the time of this recording, I've seen a lot of social media personalities coming out against Pantone's Cloud Dancer for seemingly no reason at all outside of participating in the trend of hating this color, while interior designers are disappointed with a, quote, boring color. Here is my hot take. To the haters who hate for no reason and the critics who criticize but never create, you are boring. Maybe this color is perfect for you. Moving on, English cottage influences continue into 2026, particularly in decorating rather than full architectural changes. This includes wall plates, quilts, unfitted kitchens, and visible signs of age and use. Publications like House and Garden UK and Apartment Therapy note this look resonates because it prioritizes comfort, history, and imperfection. Importantly, this trend does not require an actual cottage or renovation. It shows up mostly through layering rather than construction. Things like mismatched china, thrifted artwork, vintage textiles, and softer color palettes all support this direction. Layer textiles like quilts, throws, lace or embroidered pillowcases, hang wall plates or small framed prints in casual groupings instead of perfect grids, thrift mismatched dining chairs, and unify them with seat cushions or slipcovers. If you want a deep dive into English cottage interiors, check out my video where I show you the characteristics of an English country cottage home, design a bedroom in the style, and take you thrifting with me so you can see how you can get the look on a budget. I also made a video about one of the most famous English cottages of all cinematic time, the Holiday. Chateau-Core is being discussed as a more elevated cousin to French country. According to House and Garden UK, Chateau-Core blends rustic charm with the timeless opulence of the French regime, resulting in a distinctive take on French country style. From a design standpoint, this includes stone floors, plaster walls, aged wood, and architectural restraint rather than excess ornamentation. From a decorating standpoint, the look relies on antique and vintage furniture, layered linens, bold prints, and a sense of age rather than polished contemporary pieces. You'll find gilded accents, crystals hanging from light fixtures, chintz, and chinoiserie. This style is part old world romance and part French opulence. Basically, Chateau-Core is Marie Antoinette's idea of what it would be like to live in the countryside. You know how on the Versailles property, she had a French village and cottage that she would visit when she wanted a vacation from the palace? Yeah, Chateau-Core is that. To get the look, Choose fewer but more substantial pieces rather than lots of small decor pieces. Add curtains that bring drama, like standout prints, fabric that puddles slightly on the floor, it has fringe or embroidery, or tie it back with a tassel or two. Look for antique and vintage wood furniture instead of refinished or painted furniture. Bonus points for incorporating furniture with S-style legs in the Louis XV or Rococo style. If renovating, prioritize natural materials like stone, plaster, or wood over decorative finishes. Now, if you would like a deep dive into the French country part of this look because you like a rustic, romantic style of interiors, check out my French country design style video where I show you the characteristics and how to get the look on a budget. As far as I can tell, this next trend doesn't have an official industry name yet, so I'm calling it Fragolia. Fragolia blends the American farmhouse aesthetic popularized during the fixer-upper era with European, antique, vintage, and collected pieces. Fragolia is what happens when Magnolia meets the Victorian era with a bit of English-French country mixed in. Design-wise, I'm seeing less open floor planning in favor of smaller rooms with purpose, combined with high-quality finishes and details. The style still uses the farmhouse staples of beadboard, paneling, and shiplap, but not painted stark white as we saw previously. Tiling work leans towards texture, as do walls. Veined marble appears in the kitchen and in the bathroom, sometimes leaning more extreme than in the past. In the kitchen, we see a French range and an island that looks more like furniture and may double as a dining table. Bathrooms often have a shower and separate tub, perhaps a clawfoot tub. Decorating-wise, Fragolia favors antiques, objects with patina, and softer details like cafe curtains, tapestries on the walls, and linen fabrics. To get this look without a remodel, replace mass-produced decor with thrifted, vintage, and antique items. Layer in European details through antiques and heritage pieces like ironstone vessels and pots with patina. Add curved furniture and aged finishes, especially brass. Hang oil paintings on the walls, install brass rails on your shelves, place taper candles in brass and silver holders. Soften spaces with moody or muted colors rather than stark whites, cool blue blacks, or bright bold colors. Bring in some cozy cottage elements like printed wallpaper, curtains, or pillowcases to add softness to the space. Fragolia is a whole thing, which I'm briefly touching on in this video. So if you want to see a video dedicated to this style, let me know in the comments. Also, if you know the industry term for this, drop it in the comments. It's similar to light academia, which I covered in a previous video, which you can check out here. The next trend is Circus-Core, which was identified by Domino through Pinterest trend data as an emerging decorating style for 2026. This trend is largely decorative, focused on bold color, playful shapes, stripes, unexpected silhouettes, and theatrical moments. It is not being positioned as an all-over design approach, but rather as accent-driven style. To try this look in your home, lean into whimsical home decor items and colors. Incorporate animals from the circus like big cats, horses, and elephants in figurines or prints. Bring in a stripe on your sofa, pillows, walls, or curtains. Install a canopy over your bed. Play with bright colors, especially red. Vintage textiles are trending in 2026 and include rugs, tapestries, quilts, and embroidered fabrics. These textiles are being used creatively as lampshades, pillow covers, wall hangings, and upholstery accents. This trend reflects a desire for texture, sustainability, and individuality rather than perfection. To get the look, layer quilts on beds or sofas instead of modern throws. Use rugs and quilts as intended or as wall hangings or pillow covers. Turn textile fragments into lampshades or table runners. Seek out vintage printmakers like William Morris or Morris and Company inspired prints, as well as arts and crafts era motifs. The use of patterns and pattern mixing continues to grow, particularly in homes influenced by cottagecore and English interiors. This trend shows up in wallpaper, tile, linens, rugs, and even painted floors. The difference for 2026 is that the patterns are getting bolder and more confident. How to get started with pattern mixing? Start with 2 patterns in the same color family but different scales. Introduce pattern through textiles first: curtains, cushions, table linens. Try pattern tile or wallpaper in smaller spaces like bathrooms or entryways. Let the solids act as a visual break between the patterns. Personalized homes over show homes. Design publications consistently note a move away from generic interiors toward spaces that reflect the individual. This is a continuation of a trend that accelerated during COVID, when people began designing and redesigning homes for how they actually live rather than resale appeal. If someone walks into your home and says, "This feels like you," that aligns perfectly with where design is heading. 2 microtrends are the ways people are personalizing their homes. They are incorporating details that elevate and handcrafted items. Small architectural and decorative details are gaining importance. People are personalizing their walls with murals and millwork, including paneling, trim, and molding. Decorative details include hardware, shelf rails, stair runners, fringe, tassels, and more. These elements personalize a space without requiring major renovation. That being said, one renovation and trend from last year continues to trend in 2026, and that is reading rooms and dedicated quiet spaces, because people are reading again. In the last decade, Barnes & Noble, the large bookstore chain, has seen declining numbers, but it is set to open more stores in 2026 than they opened in the last 10 years combined. Reading rooms and quiet spaces reflect a desire to design homes around habits and routines rather than just aesthetics. Handcrafted items are being valued more highly, including pottery, quilts, murals, and embroidered textiles. This aligns with renewed interest in arts and crafts principles, namely quality materials, craftsmanship, and longevity. Bringing handmade, potentially one-of-a-kind pieces into your home creates a home that is uniquely personal to you. If you are a fan of the arts and crafts era or interested in learning more about it, check out my video on the topic. Silver and mixed metals. Etsy trend reporting continues to show brass as a top search item, but silver-toned metals are gaining renewed interest alongside it. From a design perspective, this supports more mixed metal interiors rather than committing to one finish throughout a home. From a decorating standpoint, this gives flexibility when thrifting or shopping vintage. This change to silver makes sense as people are seeking out warmer interiors and the cool-toned metal brings balance. To get the look, don't change out all of your metals at once. Instead, swap one element at a time. Cabinet pulls, lamps, trays, or picture frames. Mix silver with brass instead of replacing everything. Use silver more in accessories before committing to plumbing fixtures. If you're on a budget, thrift silver-plated items for decorative use rather than buying new. Those are the interior and decorating trends that experts are pointing to for 2026. Let me know in the comments which one of these you're excited about, which ones you're already seeing in your home, and which ones you're absolutely not into. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, check out my playlist on design and decorating styles. See you next Saturday. Bye!